Very good morning, friends. Today we'll talk about ABC of Indian economy. But before we start the discussion, let's enjoy the wonderful morning. Today we will talk about Indian economy, and we are taking the alphabet G. G stands for governance cost. G for garment industry. G for generic medicines. G for gold. G for GDP. To start with, we'll talk about governance cost. Those who read newspaper regularly must be realizing that for the last so many years we read in newspapers that to start business in India is a very herculean task. It's not that easy. There is countries who are high in that index. They are United States, Japan, UK, Switzerland. Here to start a business is very easy. You get land easily, electricity connection, labor laws are very easy, water connection. All those ingredients to the industry are easy. Whereas in India, bureaucracy is still, even after so much of liberalization, bureaucracy is still a very big hurdle. Today, that is 3rd of February, in Delhi edition Times of India front page, there is an announcement sort of that government is going to increase the DA by 10% again of central government employees. It's still a newspaper, but very soon the government will also declare. It seems like that. And the point is, as I have been telling in my previous videos, there are around 50 lakh central government employees and 30 lakh pensioners. 80 lakh. 80 lakh people are going to get 10% hike in DA, that is dearness allowance, which paper says the government is thinking will be merged in basic pay. Now what it means, when you merge the DA with basic pay, there are many other allowances which the central government employees get. So that is in proportion to the basic pay. So if the DA will be merged in basic, that means the percentage of other perks, allowances will increase. My God. Now the point is, when central government employees are going to enjoy at the cost of other Indians who pay taxes. Now my countrymen, just look how much tax you pay as income tax, as excise duty when you go to buy a matchbox, tomato ketchup, bathing soap, detergents, shampoo, any other thing. You name it in India and you have taxes. You pay so much of taxes and government employees are going to enjoy it. Why so, man? Politicians are enjoying at the cost of taxpayers. Central government employees enjoying at the cost of taxpayers. I have not talked so far about state employees or those working in municipalities. The amount of workforce, means the number of people engaged in businesses, those who are doing private jobs, or those who are running their own small enterprises, trading, business, whatever, are more than the number of central government employees or state employees. Sarkari Babus only constitute about maximum not more than 4% of the Indians. So 4% Indians enjoying at the cost of 96%. What is this, man? When I talk of cost of governance, that includes the amount we spend on parliament, Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, the amount we spend in election commission for running this democracy, the president, all pillars of democracy, or what I mean to say. My suggestion is that now we have internet, we have mobile, we have so many good modes of communication and transport. Why we have 540 something like that MPs in Lok Sabha and some equal number in Rajya Sabha? Why not decrease the number of seats of member of parliaments? Why not decrease the number of MLAs in legislative assemblies? In Delhi itself, we have 70 MLAs. What's the need of 70 MLAs? Let us increase the size of the constituencies, man. Instead of 70, we can have 50 or 55. To start with, increase it to 60, something like that. Look at China, man. The GDP of China. The GDP of China is much more than India, man. I'm not saying that we should bring that kind of government in India. Democracy is wonderful. What I just suggesting is, let us decrease the cost of governance. Today in newspaper, Delhi edition, Times of India, front page. The current Lok Sabha is the 15th in order. So in newspaper, there was a talk that this current Lok Sabha is the worst ever in the history of India, man. The number of bills passed in Lok Sabha were the least ever passed in the history of India. That means the Lok Sabha has not worked properly, means they have not enacted bills, laws. Many are still pending. In the whole 5 year, the number of bills passed are 1/3 the number of bills, highest ever bill passed in India. In 1971, the number of bills passed were somewhere around 360, something like that. I exactly don't remember. And the current Lok Sabha could only pass 160, something like that. So 1/3 of the highest bills ever passed. So when the top law making agency is not working, we were hearing a lot about policy paralysis. The number of permanent employees should come down. The number of permanent employees in central government, state government, municipal should come down. Rather, we should encourage those working in contract in government. There are many people who are working on contract in government. The government should only work as a regulator. Coming to Garment industry. Now, garment industry is a labor intensive industry. Now we have so many Indian brands also in garments. The point I'm saying is garment industry is important because it's a labor intensive industry. It gives employment to so many people. We have been the champions in textile industry. We have been the champions in the textile industry, man. Textile and garment are associated industries. They give employment to so many people. Now Bangladesh is exporting so much of garments. How come the Bangladesh is ahead of us in garment industry, man? We need to introspect. Coming to generic medicine. Generic medicines in hospitals, in health sector. Generic medicines are those which sell by the name of salt that we study in medical sciences. One of the branches called pharmacology when we study MBBS. During our academics in MBBS, we are taught salts, which is good in gastroenteritis, the one which is good for headache, migraine, epilepsy, so on. But when you pass the MBBS and you start your training period, that is called internship, when you talk to the patient, listen to their history, their problems, then you prescribe medicine. At that time you rate the brand names, man. Now I'm not talking about brands in specific. The medical students have to scratch their head, man. After having studied MBBS for 4.5 years, so many subjects, and after that they have to scratch their head learning the brands, man. It's itself a very big puzzle. What's the need of remembering so many brands, man? And the doctors who are into practice for so many years, why they remember brands? We know something called medical representatives. We know the gifts been given by medical representatives. We know the conferences, lunch, dinners, tours, foreign countries visit offered by various pharmaceutical representatives. But the pharmacy industry, Medical Council of India is against that. They suggest prescription of generic medicine only. Government should come out strictly. All doctors should prescribe generic medicine only. Let the people decide which brand they want to buy. Let the pharmacist, after all, pharmacy field itself is a specialized field. There are people who are doing D Pharma, Bachelor's Pharma, M Pharma. Let them decide which brand is good for you. In health we have so many sectors, man. Physiotherapy, diet, nutrition, pharmacology, pharmacist. Let the doctor do only the clinical part. Why they have to enter into medicine, pharmacology? Let the pharmacologist decide, man. Government should come out strictly that chemistry should only be owned by those. There's no doubt only D Pharma people can open chemist shop, but we know it's only the way to take a license. Many times those working in chemist shop are not D Pharma. Only the main head or one person in whose name this chemist shop has been taken is D Pharma. Rest all are Tom, Dick and Harry. There has been strike in Maharashtra in respect to that. Government says the chemist shop should only be run by D Pharma people, but so is not happening. Medicine is a team work, man. Why I'm talking about generic medicine? Because that will remove the chaos. So many medical representatives coming in the hospital, talking to doctors, taking a lot of their time, giving gifts. You go to any doctor's chamber, so many medical representatives are waiting outside the doctor clinic. They're waiting for the doctor to get free and talk to them and talk about the brands and give them gift, very good gift, so that will make them remember the brand. What, man? The doctor should make their profession more glorified, man. And this is one step. Trust your clinical skills. Earn from your clinical skills. Medicine is a very vast subject, very vast field. Let the pharmacologist take the charge of the brand. Well, friends, now talking about GDP. As I was talking in today's newspaper, that is Times of India, 3rd of February, front page says the DA of central government hiked by 10% announcement. Then the number of bills passed in Lok Sabha have been the least so far in the history of India. This current Lok Sabha, that is 15th. So the cost of governance is increasing. You are paying more for your administrative works. More is being spent on running Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, the pillars of democracy. So what is GDP, man? The tax you are collecting, most of the taxes you collect you are spending on running your democracy. You are not investing in infrastructure. You are not spending it on education. You are not spending on health. You are not spending on increasing the railway lines. When the Britishers left, already Delhi, Madras, so many important areas were already connected by railway lines. Look at the network of railway lines constructed after independence. Shame, man. Except for the Bombay, that Konkan railway, and the current Jammu-Srinagar link, which I remember. Where else the government of India has built the railway lines, man? Nowhere. How the GDP will increase, man? We are back to square one. Just few weeks back, the government itself has decreased the estimation from 5% GDP to less than 4.5 now. If the GDP will go down, how the people will get jobs, man? There will be a lot of chaos in the country. If the young people will not get jobs, they will take law into their hands. They might become criminals, man. There will be a lot of chaos in the country. It is not a luxury but a need, urgent dire need to have GDP in double digits in India now. We should have GDP 10 plus, more than 10 anyway, very soon, or we will be in chaos. The government should remove the hackles of bureaucracy, man. Decrease the administrative cost, allow the business to come out fast. Why we are 140s? Why we are in 140s rank? If anybody in the world want to do business in India, why are we are not among the top 25 at least? In the world, we are around 140s in rank when we have to do business in India, man. So much of bureaucracy hurdles. Come out with regulators, man. Government should only act as regulator. Lot of potential in railways. Open more schools, man. Open more schools. Let the private sector come up. Do not try to regulate the fees. If there will be more supply, if there will be no more number of schools, the market itself will decide the fees. When you have so much of onions in the market, what happens? The prices of onions fall. And what, when there is shortage, the onions even sell at 100 rupees per kg in Delhi, man. Increase the supply, increase the number of schools, man. Increase the number of schools. Anybody born in India should be able to study up to class 10th, man. Educated people will increase the GDP itself, man. Railways, health insurance. Let us concentrate on manufacturing now. We are good in services already. Manufacturing industry will increase the jobs. Let us concentrate on manufacturing industry, man. Enact labor laws, so those working in industry, whether be it Maruti, whether it be it Honda, we had so much of problem recently in Haryana with respect to strikes and labor problems. Kingfisher. There are the few three names which any Indian can name, man, when we had so much of problem with respect to labor. Gold. Why Indians are investing in gold? I already talked a lot about in my previous videos, man. Let people get good interest on their fixed deposits, man. I've already talked, so I'm not talking much about gold, man. We'll talk next. In the next part, we'll talk about H.